Op has her marriage obliterated after her neighbor uses photos of her husband to catfish women online. Rekindle relationship with my husband after neighbor's husband admitted being the catfish. Hello everyone. My husband 35M and I 30F married for 8 years have been separated for the last 14 months, and I need help and advice on how to rekindle our relationship. We are currently not on speaking terms, and all our arrangements go through our lawyers, but I will have an opportunity over Christmas to clear the air and set things straight, as he will be flying in from Sydney to spend time with the kids. So what happened? I received a Facebook message in September last year that my husband was talking and exchanging naked photos with other women on Tinder. We spoke on the phone for a bit, and the only proof she had was a screenshot of their conversations and his profile. Long story short, I downloaded Tinder and found his profile. With his location less than 1 kilometer away, I was convinced that he was cheating, and we had a terrible fallout that evening, which led to my family coming over to calm the situation, but instead, it escalated when my brother punched and grabbed hold of my husband. The neighbors called the police and my husband was asked to pack a few things and stay elsewhere for a while. We separated shortly after, and he has since moved to Sydney to be closer to his ailing father but sees our kids for a weekend twice a month. Fast forward to the beginning of November this year, my neighbor rocked up at my doorstep to tell me that her husband was catfishing women on dating apps using my husband's photos. He downloaded these photos from a MacBook that we lent him during COVID, and some of these photos were of intimate nature, and of me. The police are currently dealing with this. All of this has been relayed to my husband through his lawyer, but his response has been lukewarm, and he said we could talk about it over Christmas. I am so scared that we might be down too far the rabbit hole and that he will likely push for a divorce, even though I know that we love each other deeply, but this took a massive toll on our mental health, finances and the well-being of our 3 kids. What is the best way to approach him in December and make amends? Some comments. Your husband experienced something that you will never understand. A false accusation. An assault from your brother. Spousal alienation. No right of recourse against the false accusation. A complete lack of loyalty from his wife. A complete lack of respect from his wife. The loss of the life he had from a false allegation. Parental alienation from his children. Familial alienation from his in-laws. Alienation from friends. The police were called and he had to leave. You separated from him. Your husband has already completed his grieving process. You ask, are you too far down the rabbit hole? Yes. I am afraid there is no going back for you. You chose to not listen to him when he said it was not him. I agree. I don't think there's coming back from that. I understand you had reasons to believe he might be cheating, but it seems he had no chance to defend himself, and getting your family involved made everything even worse. He was punched and was told to leave his house by the police, has been living away from his kids for the past 14 months and has been treated as a villain by friends. You say you love him, but I don't think love could erase everything you two have been through and rebuild trust. Oh, and here's another thought. Perhaps reach out to any and all of his old friends, make sure they all know the truth. Yeah, up. Try to salvage what you can for him. But I think the way things happened would have been very damaging. To be clear, I'm not blaming you for wanting to leave when you had clear proof from your perspective at the time that he had cheated. It's a reasonable reaction. But the way it took place seems so insanely violent and dramatic. You two got screwed over, not just by your neighbor, but also by your brother. Punching someone is never acceptable. It would have been a sucky and inappropriate reaction even if your husband had in fact cheated. Now imagine how your husband must have felt, considering it was entirely unwarranted. Being married is being part of a shared family. The fact that your family got in the middle of it and bodily hurt him would make anyone think twice about getting back in. If you really work hard on mending those bridges, if you ensure everyone takes stock and is accountable for their mistakes, and that includes your brother, then you might rebuild your relationship, but it will most probably take time. Damn, you two really got ducked over by your poopty neighbor. I feel bad for both of you and your kids. I get why you believed he was cheating, and I get why he might not want to rekindle the relationship. What an all-round crappy situation. This sub, cheaters are the worst. Leave someone who cheats on you. Don't give them a second chance, don't let them lie to and manipulate you. Also, this sub, op, is the devil because she couldn't divine that this clear-cut case of cheating was instead a highly unlikely series of events that resulted in her husband's private photos on an active Tinder account in her direct vicinity and proof of that account engaging with women. Like what the poop, my dudes. Both op and her husband got ducked over hard by this PS neighbor who is now dealing with the police. It's very uncool that Poop got physical, but otherwise Op did what one would expect of her. They're both victims. If Op came on here and laid out the evidence before the truth came to light, none of the users pooping on her now would have been like, talk to him. Maybe your neighbor borrowed your computer, stole his photos, and is elaborately catfishing people from 10 feet away? Hey, tough one. Here's a thought though. Perhaps focus your efforts and intention not on getting back together, but 100% on unfucking this whole thing up for him. Imagine all the things that he lost, all the people whose opinions of him changed, everyone you ever spoke to and told about his infidelity and everyone they spoke to, every single little embarrassment, every indignity that happened to him, what your family said and did that would have hurt, every colleague, every other parent from school, then bank manager, real estate people, every single person that got the wrong idea, and correct them, own your mistake, position it as your failure to believe him, rebuild his reputation, then set about correcting the tangible harm done, the financial losses, the physical harm, the struggle you put him through. Consider each and everything that must have been sucked for him. And then of course the biggest thing, the kids. You were swindled, without doubt, but despite your innocence in terms of intent, your actions still caused great harm and were negligent. Think manslaughter, not murder. Either way, you do time for the harm committed, whether the intent was there or not. Focus all of your attention on making him as close to whole as possible. If you do this, there will be one of two outcomes. He still does not forgive you, and if this be the case, then you will have helped fix the life and reputation of an innocent man, and you can look yourself and your children in the face and honestly say that although you made a terrible mistake, you did everything you could to make it right. Or he will see the sincerity which you better have, because he will know if you are trying to seduce him into rekindling the relationship, and he will begin the process of forgiving you for your part in what happened to him. All I can say is that you had better demonstrate an absolute 100% siding with him as it relates to your family, publicly and otherwise, and you will have to be patient. He will get triggered about something this traumatic from time to time, irrespective of your efforts and his forgiveness. If you truly want to get square with him, then you may find yourself apologizing for many years to come. You may find yourself having to wear unprovoked fits of rage, unprovoked fits of depression, and separation from your family at yearly milestones. Your commitment to him and to the cause of making him whole again will be what determines if any civil relationship, let alone romantic one, is possible. Oh, and one final thing. You had better be upfront with him about any relationships or nights with other men. He will want to know, and if you deceive him at all when asked, then you are completely ducked. If you are to salvage this, then sincerity and honesty are the only way to truly achieve it. Chin up there. It is possible. I had some friends that separated for almost 2 years, neither were with anyone else, but they have managed to find their way back together, and some 3 years later welcomed a second child to their family. So there is hope. I sincerely hope to hear a positive update in 6 months' time. You and your family back together again and making great progress on his PTSD, and yes, your romance blossoming. Wow, what a mess. I'm glad the police are involved in what that neighbor did. As for you and your husband, a lot is going to depend on two things. How much you both really do still love each other, how difficult it is for you both to have a truly serious, heart-wrenching, emotionally exhausting conversation. His logical side will likely understand why you thought it was true. After all, there were pictures. It would be easy to believe it was true. But his emotional side is going to be deeply hurt that you didn't believe him over the evidence. All you can do is sit down and try to work through it. Good luck to you. Oop replies, thank you. I thought having a therapist present might help, but I have doubts and think it is better not to involve others. The aftermath was devastating for us both, and more so for him when his friends and my family wrote him off. I still love him and never stopped, but I know it will be on his terms if he is willing to give it another chance. I am willing to do whatever it takes. What have you done to make amends and clear his name? Have you notified his friends and family that he was falsely accused, and had been faithful the entire time? Has your family apologized? Have his friends reached out and apologized? Take a look at the definitions of regret that this happened versus remorse for the pain you caused him. I don't hear or feel remorse in your words, and I don't see remorse in your actions. Update 35M and 30F, neighbor catfishing women using husband's 35M photos. Hello everyone. I have had quite a few people ask for an update on what happened after we discovered that my neighbor was using my ex's photos to catfish other women. Unfortunately, after having sat down and discussed things, it was decided that our marriage was beyond repair and that we should go our separate ways. He is currently in therapy and has requested that we have a clean break with no further contact in the future. I intend to respect his wishes and will continue to communicate through his lawyer on matters that concern our kids. I have since cleared the air with our families and friends and still actively work towards repairing his reputation. I would also like to clarify the assault and why my parents came over in the first place. The night of the argument, I called my mother to ask if I could drop off our kids and if they could spend the evening there, but she was concerned about my emotional state and asked that I stay put and they would come to fetch the kids instead. They arrived, and my brother opted to stay outside while my parents came inside to grab the kids and their bags. At this point, my father asked to talk to my ex and calm the situation, and my mom dragged me away to get the kids and their bags ready. My brother was very confused when we came outside and was triggered by my mom saying that my ex might have cheated. My brother reacted the moment my ex walked out and grabbed my arm in a non-violent way, leading to the punch and scuffle on the front lawn. He was remorseful and apologized even before we found out my ex was not to blame. It is a series of unfortunate events that has changed many lives and robbed my family of our love and happiness. Now I have to focus on my kids, my depression and coming to terms with the divorce. I will never forget, but hopefully, the pain won't be as intense. Some comments: well, things went way too far and I can very much understand why your husband left. I would seriously be considering cutting your brother out of your life for a while and also really consider your reaction to this and how it all went terribly wrong. That poor guy. Loses his marriage, kids, gets assaulted, his whole life turned upside down. My heart hurts for him. I can't imagine the grief and angst he's gone through. I remember the original post to this and I predicted that your ex-husband wouldn't rekindle this. Too much damage has been done. You call it a scuffle on the front lawn. I mean, he was assaulted by your brother. Praying for your ex and I hope you can heal from this. Story 2. I have 26 cheated on my boyfriend with the stripper he was seeing almost daily and I'm glad I did it. It was the best decision I ever made. My now ex-boyfriend was emotionally and verbally abusive. He'd call me derogatory names when I didn't do something he wanted and he'd make hurtful comments about my body. I'm not even overweight, but I have body dysphoria. I was crying every single day. I wanted to leave him but I couldn't because I was emotionally dependent on him for everything and we were living together. He started going to strip clubs and being open with me about and telling me he enjoys seeing women that look better than me. He went so often that I felt like he was cheating on me. I just had to go for myself and see what it was like. One night I went and decided to pay for a dance. It just so happens I got a dance from one of the strippers he sees. Little did I know meeting her was going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I was a bit drunk and tipsy, so I overshared with her about my BF and told her about him. She said she knew who I was talking about because he'd always talk badly about me to the dancers. I just broke down and cried right there like a big idiot in front of her. She gave me a tissue to wipe my tears and gave me a huge hug. She said she didn't know what my BF was talking about because she thought I was beautiful. It made me cry even more because it made my day for a girl to think I'm pretty at least. I kept going every so often, then eventually we exchanged numbers and started going out. I was so surprised to see she dressed like a boy when she wasn't working and to learn that she was gay. She told me she doesn't like men at all but she makes good money off of them. People really surprise me a lot. She has the cutest personality ever. She opens doors for me and would ask me if I was tired or if I had anything to eat. I realized I was attracted to her and she was attracted to me. This kept going on for a few months. One night she kissed me and told me to leave him and to move in with her. We had time and she made me look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm beautiful. I thought it was time to leave him because at that point I realized I deserved better than to be emotionally, mentally and verbally abused almost every day by someone I used to love. While he was at work she helped me pack up everything. I sent him a text detailing why I was leaving him. I changed my number and blocked him on everything. I live with her far away from him and haven't heard from him in months, and honestly I'm glad. I don't care about your opinions on my cheating on my abusive boyfriend. I have no regrets. If I never cheated on him I would have never found the power to leave his toxic and abusive ass and be with a girl who loves all of me and makes me feel so beautiful. We've been together for 6 months and I'm still so in love with her. She's still the same loving and sweet person she was when I first met her. And she's amazing in bed, like full-blown amazing. She makes me see him all the time and he hardly ever did. Maybe only once a month if I'm being honest. She works at a different strip club now and I found a new job I'm starting soon and I'm so excited for new poop to come my way. I feel so blessed and lucky. Happy Valentine's Day everyone. Even if you don't have a Valentine, please love yourself. Edit. Okay, so I didn't just go lesbian. Bistimuality exists for all you ignorant sholes commenting about my timuality. I don't care if you think my experience was fake or not. Bottom line is I'm in a happy relationship. Thanks everybody for the awards and the kind comments. Holy poop, this really blew up. Edit 2. No, they don't see each other at the club anymore because she works at a different one. Edit 3. I didn't expect this to blow up as much as it did. Thank you so much everyone for your kind comments and all the awards, I appreciate it all. Story 3. My stupid ex-partner posted in this sub about me finding cheating vids in his phone. Even when he tells on himself, he lies. I only even looked at his phone. BC is shadow girlfriend, a term she coined herself. Was calling and texting him at 2 a.m. asking if he was on his way back to her. There were a poop ton more cheating vids and inappropriate conversations with more than a handful of women. I'm convinced he has some sort of compulsion and needs to speak to a professional. He also routinely went through my devices and found nothing ever, except my regular business. Even when he thought he had a gotcha moment, he was wrong. Amazingly, he can't seem to accept that it's really over. Because he is a ridiculous human. I really hope he sees this. Idiot. Lol. Story 4. 2 years ago, our relationship advice convinced my boyfriend I was cheating on him. Now he finally accepts the truth and wants me back. I guess I'm just here to rant about the whole situation. 2 years ago, my boyfriend made a post on the relationship advice sub detailing my odd behavior. I had just gotten a new job and was tired as hell, plus my uni courses were killing me and wasn't as engaged with my boyfriend as I should have been. Communication jumped out the window, and he became quite cold to me. I assumed it was our lack of S-time at that time, as we were a highly S-time-ul couple, but when I tried to initiate, he got mad. I tried talking to him, but he got very mad and said it didn't matter. It was like this for about 6 months when we took a 3-month break, then were together again for another 3, then we finally broke up for good. Boyfriend just said he didn't feel it anymore and moved out. It's been a year since the breakup and I was doing great, until my Bill sent me a post from the relationship advice sub. It felt too familiar when I read that the girlfriend got a new job and was being less intimate with me. I knew it was a post about us made by my boyfriend. All the comments insisted I was cheating with my boss, co-workers, and even strangers, and told him to break up with me ASAP and that I was trying to manipulate him by initiating S-time when I did feel up to it. I was and still am livid. I still had boyfriend's number, we had uni classes together, and told him I found the post. He came over and broke down when he heard my side, or the truth. He begged me to take him back and said he was an idiot. No? You were so easily manipulated by strangers on the internet. What makes you think I want you after all that? I guess I just need to rant and get this off my chest. Edit. I don't think anyone cares, but I gotta go to sleep, so I won't be around to answer your questions for the next 8 hours. Still ask them and I'll try to answer when I wake up. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. Our relationship advice is a horrible place. There are a lot of teenagers who never had a relationship, and a lot of bitter people. I don't understand how someone asks for advice there. Redditor follow-up. All of Reddit is filled with bitter people. I made a post once on our parenting and a teenager started saying that I should get a divorce, then ranted about how her father was mean to her. Redditor 2. Honestly, I can't believe he never even thought to ask you if it was true or not and took a bunch of random opinions from the internet as gospel. Literally, that sub always says they're cheating, break up no matter the situation. I'm so sorry your relationship ended this way and that he disrespected you that much. I hope you move on and live a great life. Redditor 3. Reminds me of when I read someone posted about their so being preoccupied and inattentive. 2 replica posts. Genders changed. Reddit told the female her partner was working hard and she needs to be supportive. Reddit told the male she was cheating and to dump her immediately. Redditor 4. Did he have another post with new evidence? Or did he only obey that one post? Answer. No, I don't think so. I wasn't sent the actual post, but rather one of those weird news articles that rip off Reddit posts, and I checked the account and it appeared to be suspended. So even if he did, I would have been able to see it.